Good afternoon. How are you? Well, I can't say it's a beautiful day. It's a brisk day. Thomas Jefferson says the temperature is 35. It's been 34, 35. So it's pretty chilly. And the humidity is 49%. And it looks just a tad like snow, but I don't think so. And the wind's at 3 miles an hour. So that's not so bad. The stories that concern me today that I think probably are distressing across the board put at issue what is a democracy about if the representatives respond not at all to what the people want and don't respond to the merits of the issue and respond only to coercion. Now, this is, I think, a localized way of looking at how we can't derive many valid conclusions from an election. If everybody in an election is exposed to the truth and makes decisions that are somehow identifiable, say by exit interviews and things like that, then maybe you have information you can work with to know what the policy of a nation should be. But if there is a overflow, just in terms of information, of lies that contain the kind of material that pushes voters in one direction or another, and then you have no way to detail the outcome of the election in terms of what the people really want, which it would appear on a certain level is they're happy with discrimination and a number of other issues you would not think a nation that was enlightened would support. There's the rub. They're not enlightened. The question of representation on the Hill, I've had some time to do that, working as special counsel both on the Senate side and the House side at different times. Very different kinds of issues and procedures in those days. But here we've seen, since Trump came on the scene, that coercion of Republicans to take actions that is not reflected in public polls or midterm elections, and the directions they take and the policy that they follow is a policy of coercion. That old Mel Brooks line from Blazing Saddles, I don't want to lose my phony baloney job. And so why are you there? Who has so little respect for themselves that they want to hold a job in which they do not enjoy the freedom to exercise their discretion to support worthy causes, particularly when informed by the public as to what they want? Let's say, up first, close and personal, is the question of a political class coercing and being coerced. In this regard, the site or venue of this misconduct, that is, not to abide by your oath to do what's right and to preserve and protect our nation, but to do what is personally necessary for your political survival. So what we do is we have with the nominations by Trump not only some grossly incompetent and dangerous people named for positions who lack the character to do the job and be respected for doing the job, but we have them in the same way not reflecting what the people want. So what am I talking about? Well, for starters, we have Pete Hegseth and Tulsi Gabbard. And the first one is a guy who thinks women have no business in the armed services, is accused of sexual misconduct and of being an alcoholic. And it appeared that he was not going to make it until the Republicans leaned on people. More about that in a moment. Now, Tulsi Gabbard, everybody agrees, who is objective about it, that she has no business handling our intelligence. She's not that. Now, there are at least 4 Republicans who have expressed independent views based on the merits of what's going on. Lisa Murkowski is one of those from Alaska, a Republican. And she said that the message that she's getting is, we got you here. And if you want to survive, you better be good. And she said that means don't get on the on Santa's naughty list here, or we'll run a primary against you. Joni Ernst, she's another one. They wouldn't get her. She spoke out against the nominee for the Defense Department, and they have someone running against her, and they're dredging up things, complaining about her divorce, which has a lot to do with what she had to say. Not at all, of course, against Hegseth. So what do we have? We have 53 Republicans, and they have to keep them in line because 4 can cast the whole thing into something like a regularly managed, responsible Congress, the Senate. So that's the challenge on that level. It is a sad day in so-called representative government when the senators do not represent the people. So we have nominations without representation. Nominations without representation. And you could say, and this is a sidebar, I guess, and a longer discussion, and unfair taxation without representation. And you can go down a list of these things, you know. Now, it's very interesting that at the same time this is going on, the FBI issues a report saying it didn't incite in any way, shape, or form the mob on January the 6th. So I haven't heard their response, but I'll know they go crazy. And it's the reason that they want a tool, Patel, P-A-T-E-L, to head the FBI so that these kinds of truths don't get out. The ministry of truth is really the ministry of lies. It is the practice of Trump and his corrupt minions to do nothing else. Now, in the days ahead, we can expect plenty of eye and earfuls from these guys in terms of the sad and sick things that they want to do. Just as a thought experiment, Einstein did this. These are easier thought experiments than the ones his massive insight encompassed. But this is pretty simple by comparison. Imagine a mass deportation on the day that Trump is sworn into office, a man barred by the Constitution, by his past acts, that no one in the country has effectively invoked. Yes, I raise my voice, but it's as a murmur among the idiotic chantings of the Republican Party, undemocratic and unfaithful to our original principles. So that's going to be something. Imagine the images if they actually try to do this. 1 million people on a single day, who knows? And the other one is brace yourself for tragic, cartoonish, chaos to be pardoning those who tried to overthrow the election in 2020, and he lied his way into the White House in 2024, and he's inaugurated in 2025. So, more candid speech about these things. Advocates in positions to make a difference would make a difference. But if there's one slogan that fits what we're dealing with here, it's enough is enough. So that's what I have to say on this chilly day. You know, for a moment I was thinking the cold was just right with snow for skiing. So this is a good conditioning for that if we get those conditions. So all the best from my cathedral of trees, somewhat barren, reflecting the souls of the Republican Party. Bye-bye.